That nigga be Christmas. Yeah, hey. I'm shameless, so shameless. With my dogs on the block, it was dangerous. Take your girl out to eat and she's paying. I'm shameless, so shameless. I'ma go hit Tahoe up. Come bring the Tahoe truck, body bags on body bags. Come pick this garbage up. DJ mixing in the booth, he leave him traumatized up. I ain't got no time to waste. Let's get these commas on. I'm sitting in class, I can't even focus. Looking at teach, hoping that she don't notice. Titty sit right, got ass be poking. Sitting in the front, cause I gotta be the closest. I'm just waiting for the bell, let everybody leave. I passed with an A, but left her with a D. I'm shameless, so shameless.
We started off the show talking about the way people respond to the internet.
The TV.
Okay.
We started off the show talking about the way people comment, the way people get triggered,
True.
the way all of this stuff is going on. Now, Shram, you have not been on Twitter. I'm not sure if Dodge has been on Twitter.
We on there a little something.
Did y'all see the canceling of Waymo the God?
Who?
Waymo.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
Well, let's go to the news.
Of using social media to harass
Oh,
and attack
that
black
bitch.
women after a series of old tweets resurfaced. But Chef Way, as he's known on social media, also a prosecutor with the Harris County DA's office. And tonight, many are calling for him to lose his job. Sion Rhodes is live in the newsroom with more on the controversy. Sion?
Lisa, the tweets in question were posted under a now deleted account back in 2015 and 2016. And Chef Way says he has changed his ways, but that has not stopped the outcry.
Hey, what's up, guys? Let's make a modernist interpretation of a turducken.
On TikTok, Wayman Wesley II, known as Chef Way, cooks up bite-sized snippets of content for his 250,000 followers. But a series of resurfaced tweets are leaving a bad taste in the mouths of many. Under a now deleted account with the handle Waymo the God, Wesley is accused of disparaging and insulting black women, saying negative things about dark skin and comparing them to trash. Twitter users reacting to the tweets, calling them colorist, anti-black, and misogynistic. In a post to his social media sites, Wesley wrote, "To those I've hurt with my past tweets that have resurfaced, I am deeply sorry. That was a moment in my life where I was sick in more ways than one. Cooking saved me. You have watched a flawed man heal. I will continue to heal and learn. Thanks for being along for the journey." According to the State Bar of Texas, Wesley has been licensed to practice law since January 2021. Several Twitter users posting the Harris County District Attorney's account calling for his job. In a statement, Harris County DA Kim Ogg wrote, "These posts were inappropriate and offensive and do not reflect my values or those of the Harris County DA's office." Mr. Wesley has explained that these posts came during a period in which he was struggling with serious personal issues, including alcohol addiction. Prior to joining our office, Mr. Wesley went through treatment and has worked with the State Bar of Texas to resolve his issues. His recovery is ongoing. I'm a believer in second chances, and Mr. Wesley has conducted himself professionally since joining our staff. I'm confident that will continue. DA Ogg standing by Wesley, but the backlash costing him at least one brand partnership that he got via TikTok. The CEO of a high-tech kitchen appliance company called Innova Culinary tweeting today they were cutting ties with him and that he does not represent their values. Live in the newsroom, Sion Rhodes, KPR.
Now, when I tell you this man's tweets were disgusting, crazy.
I remember them.
Like, yo, I'm going to say this. I say a lot of triggering things. I fuck with people like SMH black women, right? I'll go that far, and I've said some other things. This nigga was on a trillion. I've never seen shit like this.
Really?
Never. Like I said, when they said comparing the garbage, he had a fucking
beautiful
a pile of garbage, like where I dumped my truck at, my garbage truck, and there was a black woman next to it, and he had, "I see no difference."
I remember that tweet. That tweet. I remember it was that one, and it was another one where it was a dark skinned model in a bikini, and it was a light skinned model in a bikini, and he said something to the effect of like, "This picture would look so much better if the dark one wasn't there," or something like that, and then cropped her out, and yeah. I remember that. I remember those.
Son, when I tell you the tweets, I wish there was more that I could bring up.
I distinctively remember the trash post, because the dark skinned girl, she was really dark and she had like a bright orange dress, but she was
Yo,
hella
he
pretty.
has one with a girl from like what is that? The Kardashians look. Real beauty versus another woman that is black one. I think it's like Angela Simmons or some shit like that. Versus Weave and Lies. They're next to each other. Like shit like that. Like he was aggressive with
like
it.
no, like there was like it was bad. It was really bad. I remember him. I remember that.
She's too black.
I've never
Shit
followed
like that.
him, but I used to see it retweeted on my timeline, and it's
Ooh, okay.
Um,
So,
the question is, this is 7 years ago. Now, this is 7 years ago, 2015, 2016. Count is deleted. He's moved on with his life. Tended the bar. Now has this whole other thing going for him. Is it appropriate for him to lose his job as a DA? Now it may
he
be,
didn't lose his job as a DA, though.
but is it appropriate? Because they're still calling for it, and I'm kind of teetering on it because for one, I have a really bad history with the things I said on Twitter.
DA?
See, I get that. I get that.
Exactly.
But say me on Vice. I'm here. I've learned through the shit that these conversations that we've had. But they're like, yo, nigga, you still don't love black women. It's like, that's not true. Inappropriate jokes. Do those jokes come to steal take your job or your, like, where does it stop? Yo, I've seen other people. Now I don't want to be the person to put people out there, right? There's other people out there, bro, that were caught. First of all, they went after Charlemagne. They went after a lot of people. They went after Maul.
They went after Ice.
Did you see what they was on Ice ass?
I didn't see any of it, but I saw comments about it. I feel like this is my problem. And this is my problem with triggers and offenses, right? As a dark-skinned woman, I literally feel like we get attacked constantly just because we exist.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to take on. If you don't have the self-esteem, if you haven't done the self-work, it's a lot to just open up an app and feel like people are attacking you just because you exist. Now, I have a smart ass mouth, and that has saved me time and time again, because I am not, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't despise my skin tone. I actually think that it's special and that all these mixed breed motherfuckers is different. But that's another story. You understand? Like, I feel like I am true to the essence of what it is to be black. Like, I am a real black woman. The rest of y'all is kind of question marks, but that's my thing, right? Cool. It's just hurtful. And the question that I pose is like, what did these people ever do to you for this type of a visceral response? And I can understand if the response is pinpointed to a person. This person did this to me, so I'ma say da 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 da. Like, they tried to cancel Cardi a couple years ago because she said some bitch looked like a roach, and they're like, oh, they trying to say because she dark skinned she looked like a roach. Cardi said no, that bitch was being disrespectful. That bitch came out her mouth and said something, so I said something back to her.
Right.
That's something different than waking up and just disrespecting a whole group of people just because. And it's like there's no atonement for it. And the reason why I don't group you in with those people, because you atone. The reason why I don't group Charlemagne in with those people, because if you really listen to him, he has atoned time and time again. Like, yo, that person was not the person I am today. He talks about it. He brings it up. He has these conversations, and you do the same. This motherfucker only apologized because now he's finally facing the consequences of the fucked up shit that he said for years. So I don't
8
know.
years ago, though. 7, 8 years ago?
I don't know. It does.
I'm not saying no. I'm not. I want to be clear that I'm
no,
not saying it does.
It
that
was he
matters.
an adult?
Yeah,
Was he an adult 8 years ago?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it matters, but to a degree, because if nobody pulled your card, would you have ever apologized? Now, it's one thing if he would have came out and been like, yo, I used to be wilding back in the day. I've apologized on several occasions. Here's this tweet. Here's that tweet. Here's this post. Here's that post that says and names. I'm not that person anymore. Hurt people. I was in a place that I give a nigga some grace. But that doesn't exist. You're apologizing now because your feet are to the fire now. And that's what I don't respect. Do I think that he shouldn't have a job ever again and he should not be able to live and walk the face of the earth? No. Y'all know I'm real sensitive when it comes to bringing up social media things and affecting people's jobs. Do I think that he's a piece of shit human being? Yes.
Even now.
Even now. I don't give a fuck.
Well, he works for the DA, so.
I don't give a fuck.
So, when you first started talking about the story, my first response, without hearing the clips or anything, was, I believe in second chances, right? Then when y'all told me what he said, and he was an adult when he said it, and his profession, and him being an aspiring DA,
that's worrisome.
there are certain careers where your past comes into play. Because we spoke about, on the last show, about being what I consider a high-value man and integrity and character. Character is based on consistency.
Yep.
Like, you can't just be a dope person last week. Like, you got to be consistently dope, and you got to consistently handle your responsibilities as an adult. You know what I mean? So, for certain careers, if you run for president, they pulling up shit from the 10th grade. You know what I mean? If you run for, remember when Brett Kavanaugh had to get sworn into the Supreme Court? They pulling up shit from college when he was 19. I did some stupid ass shit when I was 19. You know what I mean? We all did. But it's different if you're an entrepreneur. It's different if you are a rapper than a DA. No, your character has to be consistent for longer than 8 years. You know what I mean? That's very questionable. Character flaws for somebody that is a DA.
The problem is he kept the DA job. He lost the chef endorsement.
So that's a whole nother thing. To Dodge's point, a Charlemagne could have got canceled as well. He did the right thing. He got in front of it, right?
Can't get in front of what Charlemagne was doing. His tweets are still out there. And I went and looked
His
at
tweets
them.
is out there, but it's clear that he's done work. He's advocating
He's
for
not the
mental
same
health.
person.
He even constantly talks about, black men don't cheat. Oh, back then I was a boy, and saying that, like, he's written books, and you know what I mean? He's done a lot for the betterment of the community. Not that Chef Way hasn't. I don't really know him or his platform, but there's a difference. And a DA is different than
a radio host,
TV
show
It's
host,
and I'm sorry, like, there are certain things that it's like, and then you talking about black women, the most disrespected group of people on the earth again. Like, nah, fam, you done crossed the line. That's a line where it's like,
My problem
I don't
is
know,
more
bro.
personal for me. Nigga, I was still one of the oldest people on Twitter back then. And I was participating in the shit. And it was like a thing back in the days. Dark-skinned women this, dark-skinned women that. It was like,
I remember those.
it was like a thing. And there were like hashtags, dark-skinned women. I didn't even understand the way it affected people. I had no idea the way it affected people. Because it was just a thing to do. So now when we're talking about this, I'm like, damn, did any of us really understand the shit? To, you know what I mean?
Not
to
if
be,
you weren't a dark-skinned girl at the time.
but
or
now
a
to
dark-skinned
lose
man
your
at the
job and shit like that because of it, if you really didn't understand it was just something now. it's unfortunate to say like it was a trend to do this shit. It was
It was.
a lot of this stuff that we did that was super fucked up is what built quote unquote black Twitter.
Very true.
This is true, but there's certain career paths that it just don't work. It's good.
But I don't even think they cared about him being a motherfucking DA. They didn't know about that. That came up later. They didn't want him to be a chef, bro.
No, I don't think it's that they didn't want him to be a chef. He was already a
He's
chef.
trying to promote it.
But as he was promoting and his stuff was going viral and asking for support, like, oh, support me because I'm this chef, bitches was like, the rebrand is not working, baby, because you said that.
So let me add to that, right? So I went to the extreme with running for president, running for office, or DA. Any job where you need public support, or if you are an influencer or something of that nature, you're in the public light, you have to be, you have to acknowledge your past. There's certain careers that you can't have a trash character past and be good at. I'm sorry. It's like, if you want to get your CDL license and be a truck driver, just get on the road. Like, you could do that all day. You'll never get canceled. But you can't be on social media and be an influencer or somebody that needs branding and support, because that involves character.
Who do you want to support you? And then when you align with certain brands, it's very easy for people to be like, oh, you're aligning with this person that hates me, hates my skin, hates my family, now I'm not going to support your brand. That's completely different when we're talking about consumerism and capitalism. Now his career is not going to be affected. He's a lawyer, whatever. I don't think that that's going to be affected much, but in that space of, like you said, influencer and consumerism, you have to be of a certain moral code when you start branding and aligning yourself with bigger brands, because the last thing they want people to do is cancel your brand because you decide to stand by a nigga just because he made a fucking oxtail pasta, and now all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want to align with him. But if the masses don't fuck with you, drop him. So for his little chefing thing that saved his life, but you're talking about.
No, it's more. I'm looking at fuck him. I'm not thinking about him. I'm more thinking about us. Nigga. I'm not even thinking about. I mean, me. I think I've been canceled. I think most people that they canceled me years ago, so they didn't even thinking about like, oh, let's go get him. You know what I mean? But like when I look at a lot of the tweets that came up, there's other people in there. That are doing
some
things
of our friends
that are there exactly that are, and I'm like,
hit the group chat.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking like, damn, we was all fucked up back then. Now they're not mainstream enough for people to want to focus on them, but it's like, this is 10 years ago. A lot of this is 10 years ago. I pulled up a tweet just now, and I'm gonna just pass it around. That's not nuts. It's like, if that comes out now, it's like, and these people have $1 million deals.
But this is what I'm saying. I also feel like, sometimes when we have these conversations about like us and about our brand or whatever the case may be, I feel like a lot of bad people have been put in better positions. I don't innately believe that we are bad people. Exactly. But I do believe that a lot of bad people have been catapulted to different levels that have never atoned. Atonement is what it is.
What is a proper form of atonement?
A proper form of atonement is doing the self-reflection, understanding that I've said and I've done some fucked up shit before, and naming it and apologizing for it. Because see, the thing is, niggas like to make pretend that they forgot what they used to say and what they used to do. You ain't forget. Nobody's just talking about it. It hasn't been that big. I remember one day, me and my friends, we were on Twitter. We were having like a Twitter argument versus some boys. And we said something really fucked up about somebody. But I also know years later, we named, that was mad fucked up what we said about that person. That was not okay. Even in jest, even in a conversation, even in like basically cutting each other's ass, that joke went too far. And once you name it, the person that's affected by it, if they forgive you, choose to forgive you or not, or whatever, that's different, right? Then you can move forward after an apology, after accountability. You don't get to be accountable once you have something that is important to you being sacrificed.
So how can you, what if you already have that? Like, say me right now, right? How can I atone now when people may think that I'm trying to do that just to protect my brand?
You don't have to atone now because you've atoned several times over. It's very
What if I
well,
still
it's
feel?
not easy.
I'm actually looking at my tweets the other day because I went back and scrubbed my account. I went back and tried to do
I've
my
scrubbed
best.
my account many times.
And I was like, yo, that's fucked up. Because a lot of people that are in our circles was telling me, yo, this is fucked up. And I'm like, oh, please. Y'all are just being dramatic. Oh, whatever. And it's just like, now I'm looking and I feel bad. You know what I'm saying? I honestly feel bad because I am a different person now, even with the things. But see, now, then I compare that to these clips that go viral. And I'm like, damn, does it really look as if I am who I feel I am if I'm still triggering people through these type of conversations?
But are you? I feel like any clip so far that has gone viral that was quote unquote triggering, it's triggering out of context. It's not the same as a tweet, right? A tweet is literally like a sentence. It's a comprised thought. You're talking about clips from a larger, broader conversation that are chopped into something smaller. So you might lose the essence of the conversation, or you might lose the context of the conversation. I don't think that there's anything that you went viral for.
That doesn't matter. What you're saying is not explained in those tweets, in those clips.
I have an interesting perspective
That's not true
here.
because I feel like the descriptions in the clips, if people ever took the time to read the description, they wouldn't be so mad at the clips.
Go ahead, Tron.
So I have an interesting perspective because I'm thinking about a really good case study about somebody that has not got canceled. Snoop. This nigga was the wildest dude, most misogynistic, bitches ain't shit dude in the 90s.
Bitches ain't shit, but
He's
hoes
got
and
so
tricks.
many endorsements, Corona commercials. He's on Monday Night Football in the booth with these, like, with Troy Aikman and them. Like, it's wild how acceptable he is in mainstream America. Like, fucking, he could do anything. He could sell anything. He could have his own TV show, everything, right? He's never really atoned. He's never changed up. Matter of fact, he probably keeps the same kind of persona to a degree. You know what I mean? Especially with the weed and all that. So, what do y'all think about that? Like, there was really no atonement. He was just acceptable.
But you've watched him change.
You watched the rebrand.
But
after
has
the
he
murder
changed?
was the case thing and leaving death row and all that shit, you saw him become a family man. You saw him become more about weed and sex, and he kind of just was like, yo, I'm
coaching
chilling.
football.
I ain't
cooking
on that no
with
more.
Martha Stewart. Like, I don't think that. But and then on top of
Martha
that, you
Stewart
can't.
whitened him up. Yo,
Martha Stewart, she helped a lot.
she
You
helped
understand?
that gentrification.
But I don't think that rap lyrics. Shut up. I don't think that rap lyrics are in the same vein.
Nah.
I don't believe it's the same.
But it was his whole persona. It's more than just lyrics.
But he's still the biggest crip. He's still cripping. He's still crip walking. This nigga's still fucking flagging and wearing his crates and everything. So we know that he's a gang member. We know that he smokes a lot of weed. We know he aligns with pimps. But do any of us believe that he's innately a bad person?
All right. So I feel you there. I feel like Chef Way, like I said, he passed the line. Like, that line is like, there's no excuse, there's no reason for that. Like, you can't.
With the ones I showed you just now.
Even the ISIS and that niggas of the world, they're not. I don't believe that these people are good people.
How can you tell if you don't know them?
I didn't say that I know for sure. I said I don't believe.
So then why would anybody else who's seen any of the things else that anybody would say? Because, nigga, it was a culture to disrespect black women back then.
It was a culture to disrespect dark-skinned women. It was
black
not
women.
black women.
It was dark-skinned women. Yes, it was dark-skinned
If you
women.
weren't androgynous, if you wasn't mixed with something, if you wasn't Spanish,
Even
if you
the
ain't have the
light-skinned
long
women
curly
that
hair.
in the tweets dissing dark women.
It's
nuts.
As a dark-skinned woman, I remember
It's
that
nuts.
time very loudly, very clearly. And
how did you like?
Wow.
Did it like yo? It was nuts. I'm telling you right now. I went back
even
and I looked.
some of those tweets that you just showed me,
nuts.
I remember them.
How did you deal with that? Like, how did
I don't.
Like
because
back then,
I am a dark
it was just like nothing.
I'm a dark skinned woman that always said like my colorism or reverse colorism or bullying, whatever the fuck you want to say, I never dated light skinned men. Now I may have gone on dates, but like when I say seriously date, I would not date. I would not date light skinned men. I know.
Did you fuck him? I just be having to know because you wording. See, look, your wording is a little. See, she got quiet. Now she got a text.
No. I would never date. I would never find myself in a relationship with or anything like that with a light skinned man. I fucked one light skinned man and it was a bad idea and I never did it again. And it was another light skinned man that wanted to date me seriously and I felt bad. I had to atone later, but I said to him, I'm not going to be in a relationship with a light skinned man. And he was like, what if I said that about you? And I heard him and he was right. But I meant what I said. I wasn't fucking doing it because one of my biggest fears was to have a kid by a light skinned nigga and my baby come out light skinned and people have to question if that's my kid.
I don't think he was right though, because I don't think there's such thing as reverse colorism.
No, there's not reverse colorism, but he was right in the manner in which that I stated it, and he was
as
just
hurtful
like,
as it is.
Yeah, like it was
like her saying she don't love my couch. Like I would never go to her.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how I dealt with it because I think that I've never really been the person to engage in things that I felt like were negative or hurtful towards me. Like I'm not about to sit there and argue with somebody on Twitter that said, yo, all dark-skinned women deserve less, and I'm gonna be like, no, we don't. Like I'm not leading the fucking mob. I don't got the fucking pitchfork in my hand like, justice for dark skin. Like I just existed.
But why was that a thing though?
It's always been a thing. And it's always been a thing for me, especially when it came to lighter skinned women and we liking the same men. The first thing they would always point out was my skin complexion. Like as if I did not deserve love, as if I did not deserve that nigga, or I didn't deserve to be with anybody. I was meant to be alone because I'm dark skinned. Like you mixed breed bitch, like you deserve to be alone.
See, here you go, mixed breed. There's literally I had a woman came here the other day.
For years.
A woman came here the other day. One of my exes from, I want to say 22 years ago. Mm-hmm. She's outside my house the other day. For whatever reason, she's outside my house. And had one of my neighbors, who don't even have my number, call me. Call my phone. I'm somewhere else, but I'm in the neighborhood. She's like, hey, you were around? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, well, this person's here in front of your house. And she grabs the phone. She's like, yeah, I'm in front of your house. Where are you? In any case, she comes in. I told Tanae she was here, whatever. She comes in. She needs to charge her phone. That's why she used the other girl's phone or the lady's phone. And she's talking, so I give her a drink. I didn't want to give her a drink because she looked a little, whoop. She looked a little like, what's going on in your life? What's happening? But she was like, yeah, she's Haitian. And she's like, yeah, I'm not one of you dirty American bitches. Y'all dirty Americans, this. And, oh, y'all used to call us the African booty snatchers. And now look at y'all. Yeah. We run the world. And I was just looking. I was like, are you racist? I was like, are you prejudiced? Like, are you, like, because I'm American. She's like, oh, no, yeah, you was fucking this Haitian pussy. And then you don't fuck with them dirty American bitches. You ain't want to have no dirty American child. Like, shit like that. And I was just like, I was offended. I was low-key trying to get out the crib just because I was just like, you dead ass? This how you think?
But that's
this
trauma.
Really how you
that's
think?
A trauma response.
But my thing is,
I see where you're going with it. Like you don't want to meet hate with more hate. You know what I mean? That's a challenge for you, does too. Like
no, it's not a challenge for me. I'm not gonna change.
Misbreed bitch.
No, because when you said that, and there was one comment that actually I was a little offended when you were like they're not hurt my feelings, but I was a little offended for other people. Like they're not real black women, and I'm like. That's kind of hurtful because there's a lot of light-skinned women or mixed breed women that are very strong black women and leaders in the community and do a lot, and
I know
they're
they
not
get away with more because they're light skinned. Because when the dark skinned women want to lead the community and do more for the community, we get called angry, we get called aggressive, we get micromanaged, we get microaggressed. It's different. I'm sorry. My trauma response to the things that I've seen and the way that I have been treated in my life, that's my trauma response, and I'm not in a place at this point in my life to let go of it. Mm-hmm. Because y'all haven't seen what I've seen. You haven't been through what I've been through. You haven't dealt with what I dealt. When I tell you,
that's
I can open my phone right now and do a mass scroll, and I will find something colorist. I will find something that negates my existence right now.
And that's why
Fuck out
I appreciate what you say about me. Like, oh yeah, you did it, but I don't feel like I did enough. It's like, yo, when I have all of that, but I don't know what. It's like, yo, because people think it's performative, and it's like, especially with all the things that's happened lately, like, right? It's just like when I look at all of that shit from back then, and I look at how it was so prevalent, it was big. Mm-hmm. It was, nigga, it was the lay of the land. That's how it was. Mm-hmm. So when I bring up the Chef Wade shit, I'm like, damn, these people are still affected by this shit.
Yeah.
Still affected by the shit. Like,
I still remember the fucking tweets. I only had to, when they started going in on him, I did not know who he was. I don't remember his face. I don't remember the name, nothing. But when the tweets started popping up and I was looking at the images,
I didn't know who he was neither. Once I seen Waymo, because it didn't affect me that way.
Mm-hmm. I remember every bitch. I don't dislike a lot of people, but there's a couple bitches that they're never gonna come back from the things that I remember that they have said about me.
I said things about fat women, dark skinned women. What'd you say?
That's fine. That's for you.
That's fine.
No, I don't mean that's fine, but I'm thinking about me and I'm like, that's fine, but
so yeah, it's like I said a lot of things and I was just like, damn, bro, like your thing was to attack women. Mm-hmm. Your thing was, you know what I mean? It was like very, very, very big. So, you know, it just made me feel away. When I watched this, then I was thinking like, damn, but if it was just the way that we was back then, it was a whole culture thing. Because nigga, when I tell you they went after one, once they got him, they was like, who else? And they went after that person. And then they was like, who else?
Who's next?
Nigga, they was on some who's next. I was just like, oh, I know Vice Day comes out next week. They're going to get me first. That's ain't going to come. But I was like, yo, most of them got me canceled already. It is what it is.
Get all of them because it's fucked up. It was the wild, wild west.
But if you've worked hard, like say some of these people.
Parker, leave me alone.
She's not playing about that.
Son, she's called me 5 times.
She's not playing. If so, do you have to become an activist for you to believe that you've changed in 8 years?
No, I don't think that you have to become an activist, but I also think that it is important to atone. I feel like a lot of these people, they just decide to move on and they never address it. Like, I feel like people could have or maybe would have felt better if in all of those tweets that you bring up of you being so negative, that you can bring up a tweet of positivity. If you could bring up a tweet of reflection, if you can bring up, because there are some people that might be like, all right, maybe you were fucked up at that time, but you have nothing. You have this iOS press release because now brands are being canceled.
And niggas is so disrespectful because now niggas is pushing back. They're fighting for him. And they're like, yeah, we said it, but that, yo, it was just a lot of nut shit.
I'm so happy I didn't see none of that because
it was a lot of nut shit. It was a lot of nut shit. And I was just sitting, I got real quiet because I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't know what to do. It was uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. And like I said, like I don't wish bad on people.
And the funny thing is,
don't say no slick shit to me because I am going, when you go low, I'm going to hell with you. I am taking it to fucking hell, to the core of the earth. I am going to say the most fucked up shit that I can possibly conjure up in my mind about you. So please don't try me.
The funny shit for me is I've always dated dark-skinned women.
And you've said this constantly.
And that's the funny shit to me is like, yo, why? Anyway, Charm, you seem over it. I apologize for
No.
dragging it.
I'm just thinking like it's a good conversation.
It's a good conversation, but I find myself because I'm leaving that alone. I was gonna go in a different direction with it. So fuck it. It's seeming performative, right? Like, yo, if you believe in some shit, it's like me talking about gay people or trans people or something. It's like, I don't know. It seems. I don't know. It's a lot.
I feel like things can seem performative, but if it's genuine, it's genuine. So it doesn't matter what the perception is.
I like that, and I appreciate that. I do be worried about what other people think,
and I don't give a fuck. Like, and you said that before, especially like with your allyship. And it's just like, I don't want to say this because, like, if you're an ally, you an ally, stand on it. If some people are going to receive it, some people are not going to receive it. And
well, I think one of my biggest fears is, it's not a fear because I think that people on the internet is just dickheads. A lot of people on the internet is just dickheads.
They have too much time on their hands.
I don't want black women to think I don't love them. I love them. Like, that's almost like, when I said that one of my biggest fears is my daughter not loving me. Mm-hmm. Another one would be black women thinking that I'm like an op to black women. That's crazy to me. Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me. Like, where do you exist at that? Like, what? I'm not that guy. I'm the guy that is in a room full of guys that are talking about they don't date black women, and I'm arguing for black women.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I'm doing with a bunch of them, like 8, 9 of them, and I'm arguing for black women. I'm the guy that goes to the club and see that when niggas is bringing the white girls around, and I'm feeling away because the black woman ain't around. I'm that guy. Now, if I'm bringing these conversations up for the show or whatever, or speaking like back then, I think I was just caught up in just being cool on the internet, just trying to, I think that it's a thing about you doing whatever you can to get people to retweet, or to get people to comment. That's all you're doing. You're trying to get attention.
It validated you.
And now it comes back and it slaps you in the motherfucking face. Like, damn, this is what you was doing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if what you do in real life atones, you don't really have to say much because you're. The way you act in real life is different than the things that you're worried about. Mm-hmm. And that's an atonement in itself. So
yeah, I agree. Because even when our clips go out and they go viral or whatever the case may be, like, niggas that know niggas that know that you just playing, niggas that know like, I had a conversation about you yesterday. I can't tell you the basis of it yet. I'll tell you, but I can't tell you today. Mm-hmm. But in the conversation, I brought you up, and one of my close friends that you don't even know like that, she was like, yo, Tahoe is a great friend. And I'm like, yes, Tahoe is one of the best. He's an amazing friend. And the rest of the conversation, blah, blah, blah. Like, people that know, people that advocate for you will. And anytime shit has gone left, you always are going to have your friends. Your real friends are always defending you in those moments, in those comments, arguing with these strangers like, y'all don't know this man. And once you get to that point where you understand that you don't know me, you don't know anything about me, you don't know anything that I've done, you're watching 2 seconds of something and you're creating this whole persona. Like, I don't owe a stranger nothing, but the people in my life that can vouch for me, they're gonna fucking vouch for me. So just continue being a good person in your real life, because if and when your time comes, it's gonna be a flood of niggas like, nah, not that one. It's so easy.
That's dope. I appreciate that.
These fucking strangers.
One of the things that I've learned to say this year is I received that. You know what I'm saying? Actually, just being able to sit there and not combat it, just really receive some fly shit. Yo, this girl here. Nigga, the messages she sends me every fucking morning.
I'm kind of jealous about that, Melly. Not that I want the messages, because I'm probably not going to respond, but I am jealous.
He doesn't respond either.
Good.
Can I read some of the messages you sent me?
Yes.
Yo, I'm gonna read the last. So this is. Shut up. He doesn't respond. I do too. I'm working in the rain. Leave me alone.
Not I'm working in the rain.
Rise and shine. Have a beautiful day. You looked amazing on Vice. I haven't watched it yet, but I know you did amazing. You're a star. You shine bright like a diamond. Even in the midst of chaos and shit that was happening in your life, you still are amazing. Your gift is unmatched. This woman, son, every day.
I love that.
She's like an app.
Not like ads.
She's like an app. Yo, if y'all go watch House Party, there's a moment in it where you'll know where there's a person in that affirms himself. That's Melly's the person. She affirms me every morning. I just be reading it and smile every morning. I be like, yo, she's nuts. Thank you. I don't know how to say thank you no more. I've said it so many fucking times. Like, I don't know what else to say. You understand? It's not that I'm not. It's like, what else am I fucking say?
Just continue saying it.
Thank you. Carmelli, I appreciate you for sending me those messages and believing in me and being there for me. I super appreciate you for that. Okay. I don't know. I want to have that conversation. I want to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
So shameless.
So shameless.
Yeah. That nigga be cruising. Yeah. Hey. I'm shameless, so shameless. With my dogs on the block, it was dangerous. Take a girl out to eat and she's paying. I'm shameless, so shameless. I'ma go hit Tahoe up. Come bring the Tahoe truck, body bags on body bags. Come pick this garbage up. DJ mixing in the booth, he leave him traumatized up. I ain't got no time to waste. Let's get these commas up. I'm sitting in class, I can't even focus. Looking at teach, hoping that she don't notice. Titty sit right, that ass be poking. I'm sitting in the front cause I gotta be the closest. I'm just waiting for the bell, let everybody leave. I passed with an A, but left her with a D. I'm shameless, so shameless.